All right. Hello and welcome back to the PSU LCS. Once again, I am Infamous Dom. Some might know me as Infamous Trash, some might know me as Sioka. All are applicable names, but welcome back to the PSU LCS for our matchup tonight between Monkey Meta and Team Miku. Once again, in our little push for playoffs. Miku is currently sitting in the middle of the standings here, is currently in the playoff bracket, whereas Monkey Meta on that 9th place spot, so trying to get the push to make it into that coveted top 8 positions. And I believe we are getting into draft here right about now. Yep, we are indeed into draft as my thing fails to switch. There we go. But from Monkey Meta, we got Rel and Karthus hitting the ban table. From Team Miku, Seraphine is going to be the first ban away from Fishbish, the support. And now, possibly looking towards maybe some bans. Mr. Lazy is subbing today for Monkey Meta, so getting a little help from 5-inch Girth Gods on the Rift tonight. Hecarim also going to be banned away, so just taking out the kind of more meta jungle picks, and finally Caitlyn, a safe AD carry Monkey Meta might decide to lean towards. And first pickup for Monkey Meta going to be the Tristana, so going with the flex pick AD carry mid lane. Still a very strong mid laner, definitely prohibits a lot of the mage picks, stuff like the Victor, stuff like the Orianna can certainly have a hard time against Tristana in the early portion of the game with that Hail of Blades. So, pretty solid flex pick overall. Going to allow them to have a lot of versatility in the draft. Now Miku's going to have to respond. They're going to insta-lock they're going to lock in the Callista. Not something we see too often. Has been popping up a little bit more that was moving into the playoffs of professional play, but still a fairly good champ pick. Tons of damage, tons of early game pressure. Kind of like the Tristana in that angle. They're also going to lock in the Alistar, so already a very strong bot lane combo in here for Team Miku, to be certain. And now, back over toward the side of Monkey Meta. Looking to lock in here, probably looking at a support pick. Maybe something like the Morgana is still up and an option that they like to lean towards instead. Nautilus, definitely meeting Engage with Engage on that pick. Very strong tool. In the hands of a good support player. The point-and-click ultimate for some guaranteed CC is also very, very nice. So, possibly both bot lanes rounded out here. Again, the Tristana is still flexible. So, we'll have to see where that ends up going. Miku definitely needs to be wary of that as draft goes on. And now, going to have to be a blind pick here for Monkey Meta. Possibly looking to lock in a jungler for some priority. Instead, going to go with the blind pick Galio mid. Certainly a good champion. The semi-global is always great. You can get into a lot of fights, help your jungle out in the river. Really good for disengage, which kind of hurts Callista and Alistar in trying to starting fights. As well as Malphite, which is the hover currently from Team Miku. We'll have to see if they decide to lock it in as a blind pick topside matchup. And yeah, Malphite insta-locked in, gonna immediately ban away the Sylas from Mr. Lazy. And as a result, some ban focus gonna have to come in here out of Monkey Meta. Still mid lane as well as jungle. Still up. Kha'Zix is a pretty good ban here against Mitmok. Specifically, has been one of his better performing champions. Have to split Graves as well. Very strong pick in the current meta. Instead, they are going to ban away the Echo from NZ Anonymous, so going more of the mid lane target this time around. As Vayne will be the second ban. Still cautious to see if that Tristana is going in the AD carry position, or if it could be a Vayne top lane against the Malphite. Lots of different angles for that one to go. Mr. Lazy does play AD carry at the moment for 5-inch Girth Gods, so it's just something you don't want to have the Malphite dealing with. A lot of true damage. Probably one of the few AD carries that Malphite really has a strong time with, in terms of not being able to kill. And Vel'Koz, it looks like, will be the last. Yep, gonna be banned away. Does do fairly well into the Galio. No really way for you to play the game as Galio. You just get poked out. Vel'Koz auto clears the waves. You're really only just to roam and lose CS, lose tower plating. So Pretty solid ban for Monkey Meta. Take N0 Anonymous off 2 of the comfort picks for mid lane. And now going into the second phase here of the red side pick. It's going to be the Blind Graves once again for Team Miku. We did see this in some of their games in the previous week. Graves can be a very strong pick, but is definitely, I think, much more conditional than he was last season especially. Blinding him is a little bit risky. You do offer up the chance for a lot of good picks here. Hecarim, of course, is banned away, so the pick you normally see Graves going to the most is out of the table. And it looks like that true damage I was talking about in Vayne might come back, and it will. They're going to pick the Camille top lane for Monkey Meta onto Mr. Lazy. Going with the hard split push carry that can also kind of team fight pretty well with the Galio. You do have Galio Camille combo now locked in, and Nautilus set it up, so very scary composition here out of the side of Monkey Meta thus far. With their final lock in here, going to have to blind, or not really blind, they're just going to counter pick jungle, so. Yep, Nunu Wilm locked away, Tristana confirmed going bot lane at this point for sure, as it has been since first round. And now it is up to Team Miku to round out the draft here with a mid lane pick into the Galio. Veigar are going to be locked away. Definitely a little bit of an unconventional option, but does do quite well with the majority of the short-ranged carries here on the side of Monkey Meta. So pretty darn solid lock-in terms of you're going to have a ton of zone control between Veigar, Alistar, and Malphite. You're going to be able to prevent a lot of Camille engage or disengage for that matter. Trap people in the Galio are. Nautilus has a harder time finding dredge lines when he has to go through the hook. As well as Tristana can't just jump through the cage. You do have to wait for that cooldown to be expired. You will get stunned mid-jump animation if you go in somewhat too early. So certainly something to consider here as we switch it over to the actual in-game draft. All in all, if I had to go for a win of the compositions, I'd still say it is, if you're looking at the 5v5 potential, if you're looking for the win conditions, Monkey Meta has this one pretty down pat in terms of the wombo combo potential. You have a Camille Galio with a Nautilus for setup, and Nunu Wilm to follow up off the Galio ulti with an ulti of his own. Tristana is going to do an immense amount of damage. Camille is going to do an immense amount of damage. Galio from ahead can also one-shot carries, so plenty of different options and plenty of team fight options, most importantly here for the side of Monkey Meta, whereas you go over to Team Miku, a little bit more disjointed in their composition. You do have the Callisto who wants to play super aggressively in bot lane. You have Alistar to complement that. Malphite is in top lane to try to play safe to scale up for team fighting, and then you have this Graves for jungle pressure, which into Nunu Wilm isn't as extreme as you might think. And then a Veigar who needs a lot of attention, a lot of peel to really operate in these team fights, especially when you have something like the Camille on the enemy team. So Miku a little bit more disjointed. Still has a ton of pick potential and damage output if they get ahead, so that will be something we're going to have to watch in this game. So, yeah, trying to think of more things that you're talking about these two companies. They're pretty cut and dry. I mean, you do have, looking at win conditions specifically, you can get the Camille and Tristana here for Monkey Meta to get super duper fed, and that pretty much will auto win you the game. Tristana late game, of course, still absolutely terrifying, as Camille, pretty much the same beast. Cho'Gath ulti 4-second cooldown, the memes, yada yada yada. We've heard it all before here on the cast, but still very strong champion. Can operate in the side lanes, so if Camille gets very far ahead, especially in the laning phase, you have kind of a double threat option you can do here at Monkey Meta. You can team fight 5v5 with your whole team around objectives. You have great pick potential with Camille Galio. Just go in there with a hook shot, follow up with a hero's entrance. Tons of different options off of that route. Or you can send Camille's off the side lane. Still have a very strong 4-man or even 3-man stack and send the Galio off to a side lane and set the other 3 in the middle lane, wherever you need to for the push, for the siege, what have you. And you're going to be able to operate very cleanly there, very easy to disengage a lot of these fights. With Galio coming in and then Camille being able to either TP in or just continue to split push up in the side lane and be able to create pressure, because as the game goes later and later and later, it's going to be much, much harder for both Malphite or Veigar to really answer the Camille in the side lane. Veigar himself doesn't really like being in the side lane too much, is susceptible to getting picked, not a lot of mobility Does have the cage to buy sometime, but that is a 9-second cooldown, so you're going to have a pretty big window as Camille to get around that, as well as you can just go through it with the Hextech ultimate if you're close enough. So there is all of that to consider. And then, yeah, it's very hard to see who's going to answer. Maybe Kalista, if Kalista is very far ahead, can end up answering Camille in the side lane in the mid to late game. But at an even footing, I still say Camille pretty hard wins that 1v1 matchup. And that doesn't really fare well for Miku once you get to the point of, do you have a split push option? Now, if it is 5v5 team fighting, a little bit of a different situation. Yeah, you do still a very potent composition, very reliable composition.
This is where
on the side of on the side of Monkey Meta. However, Team Miku does have more options in this theater. You have the Alistar for engage, you have a Malphite for engage, you have Veigar for incredible terrain and zone control with the cage, and then once, of course, you go later in the game, Veigar with the new mage item reworks, you don't get a lot of AP out of the items itself, so Veigar with his passive being able to AP stack, you can still get these ludicrously high AP values as the game continues later and later and later. It is one of the few infinite scaling champions, so even if Camille's ahead, if you go like 40, 50, 55 minutes into a game, Veigar can one-shot Camille fairly quickly with 1500 AP and an R button. That's not something that's unfeasible, so it's a bit of an interesting situation. So 5v5 is definitely a bit more tricky battle. Definitely going to have to take a bit of skill. You're going to need to peel for the Kalista, have the Kalista be able to DPS the Galio, the Nautilus, the Nunu. We're going to want to charge in these teamfights. Malphite find access on a Tristana or Camille to initiate fights for Miku. Alistar follow up on a wall or initiate in Malphite follow. And then Graves, Kalista, Veigar are going to have to try to play a really weird dance in the backline with Camille and possibly a Galio ulting on top to really be able to do a lot of damage in these fights. Certainly the onus of execution on the side of Team Miku is fairly high. You're going to need quite a bit of control in the laning phase, be able to get a good gold lead, and then be able to push that towards a victory, towards the team fight, and especially the late game stage, because Monkey Meta has a ton of threats. They have a very reliable team fight with a ton of engage, tons of disengage, can play pretty much however they darn well want to, including the 1-4 split push. So lots and lots and lots of options for their team as we get into game 1 here today. And again, just to reiterate, just to throw it out there once again, Monkey Meta, they're a few games off playoffs as it currently stands. It is a very close race here for that 8th spot. So every single game matters for this team as we end the playoffs. Miku, a little bit better faring team. Miku, of course, sitting in that 7th place, so not out of the woods themselves yet. Need to pick up a lot of wins to really push themselves up in the actual playoff contention and the standings. These are two teams that are very close in standings. 11-7 Team Miku versus 7-11 Monkey Meta. That's 7-9 respectively. So one team that is currently in the playoffs. Not necessarily locked, because if you drop all your games, you can still get replaced, but is currently in the playoff running, whereas Monkey Meta on that fringe just outside of it, where really if you can win 4 of your next 6 games or whatever you have left to play, you do have a shot of getting in there. As we start loading on into game, it will not let me. There we go. We are loading in right now, looking at ruins. It's going to be Omnistone Ignite Teleport for Mr. Lazy in the top lane. We are not going with a standard build. No, no, no. We must be spicy in PSU LCS. And that is what Mr. Lazy shall be. As we load on into game here for game 1 of Monkey Meta versus Team Miku. Again, very pivotal game in this race for the playoffs for both of these teams. Miku trying to move their way up the standings, can try to secure their place in the top 8. And Monkey Meta on that fringe need every game they physically can to get in. And they do have Mr. Lazy hopping in here to help them along the way. So both teams loading in here for the match. Gonna stab Alistar real quick As we'll have to see if anyone looks for an invade. So far, looking like a standard 5-man stack from both teams. Alistar finally getting out of the death sentence cast upon him by Callista. Impaled by the Black Spear, I believe it's called. I don't know. Someone can correct me on the item in chat. I believe. I'll say it's Black Spear right now. But in either event, just going to be standard 5-man spreads here. No one looking up for advanced vision so far. Have to see where junglers really start to line up here for the actual game. I would kind of like to see Graves try to mirror the pathing of Rygai. Try to contest for the Scuttlecrab's Grave, of course. Going to be pretty favored in the 1v1s against Nunu. Does have, you know, the Q to really heal back a lot of the HP, but Graves' early DPS is quite strong, especially when you can cast the Smoke Grenade. Get a few free hits in before Nunu can really even do anything. Can yoink away a crab, possibly even a first blood with that one. And it will be both junglers starting bot side, so this will be 2 junglers pathing to that top side Scuttled Crab. And as I said, going to be looking for this Graves to really contest Rygai in the early game. Nunu farms up very well, has a great amount of objective control with the Smite Q combo. You need to be careful of that. Note, this is actually Grasp Malphite, so you're going for a bit more melee trading build rather than the Comet Malphite you standardly see for a lot of poke damage to really whittle away your opponent and then be able to come over with the Unstoppable Force and really set up a good game. But for now, it will just be a good old smacking as Nightlight and Miss Lazy both can get trade up. Has the phase rush, so can just dip away there after the tactical sweep. And Nightlark trying to hold down the fort best he can here. Hookshot comes in, and this might be Mr. Lazy looking for the 1v1. Grabs the Odd off the Hail of Blades, but he got off the Omni Stone, and now Nightlark definitely feeling the pressure here. As early game matchup certainly losing for the Rock. At bot lane, Shinozaki will fail the Alistar combo. That is Pengu Dab indeed from ZHJ. As we pretty much have a farm path, both junglers going for more of a full push. Now, Nunu notably does skip the Krugs, so is to be a little behind in camps as bot lane. We have a little bit of a fight here from Shinozaki and ZHJ, gonna go the way of Monkey meta so far as J-Morg traded back pretty heavily by the Sustana. Not a ton of damage coming through from the Callista. This does mean, though, as I was saying with the Krugs, that it is Rygai who actually is going to be able to get to this crab on spawn, whereas Brave just finished up the red buff and said will path all the way back down toward the bot side. Crab does not want to contest with the Camille having lane prime on top lane. As Nightlark is just dead. That's it. That's a solo kill. Hook shot, ignite with the Q. And that is first blood in the top lane for Mr. Lazy. TP ignite, people. It's a thing, and it does hurt if you're not being careful about it. Very well done from the 5-inch girth god AD carry. Coming out here in game 1. Already grabbing first blood up, and that is one of the win conditions of Monkey meta. Certainly getting off to an astounding lead. Fish Fish is in trouble. Good flash combo from Tucker, but a Fish Fish able to flash in return. Mitmock rooted up, but he's not in return just yet. Does get the E away. Now the exhaust comes down as TP in for Mr. Lazy. And Mitmock overextending in the bottom lane. Perchance ZHJ picks up the kill, and right now Team Miku now falling behind by about 1,000 gold. So Monkey meta with what I would say is a superior composition, getting off to an outstanding early lead here over Team Miku. Nunu is well going to be able to take away a Swamp, perhaps. Actually has used this might, so J-Morg's going to go for the contest. Has the Rend available, so this Swamp does not go over. Shinozaki Rika looking for the play. Has the stun. Will not proc it, though, as Rygai ignited. Has the flash. Flash forward from J-Morg with the Rend. Does secure the kills. They're going to bite into another fight. Fish Fish, though, does not find the dredge line, so ZHJ, though, getting a lot of damage down. J-Morg will not find another counter kill, and Miku do get a response. They take Rygai off the map, gonna give some more time for Mitmock to farm back up after the failed gank in bottom lane. And now, just kind of going back. Mr. Lazy looking for another trade in top lane. Nightlark has to be careful. Electric proc tons of damage with the true damage auto on the second Q proc as Nightlark fighting into the minion wave as well. Nightlark going to go very low. Has to burn the flash. Hookshot not available. Flash not available. Mr. Lazy. No flash build. Doesn't even have it. Does manage to force Nightlark back once again. Does not have the TP, so he's going to have quite a bit of a rough time coming back here. Going to lose a fair amount of the wave, more than likely, as well as possibly even a play. Camille does take these things very quickly once she gets under tower. So quite a bit of advantage here in the top lane for Monkey Meta. Mr. Lazy off to a great start so far. Gonna take a while for Nightlark to really come online. As soon as Rika does find Fish in the jungle, has Mitmock on the supportive side of things. Galio, though, looking down with the Hero's Entrance, going to dissuade Miku from really going any further. He's going to finish off the Raptors for now. And because they do not have vision on where Ragai is at the current time, not going to look to start the Dragon just yet. Mr. Lazy does take level 6 on Camille, has the Hextech Ultimatum, but is poked down very low by both the turret and Nightlark. Most of the turret, but, you know, Nightlark got a Q or two in there. Threw some rocks at the passing Hextech creation. And interesting enough, Veigar, relatively unpunished this far into the game, has been just farming up quite nicely, has a small CS lead in mid lane. Stacking its here as well for that good old Archangels. And it will be Miku, kind of against the grain of play so far, who end up getting the first dragon. Ragai has been topside most side, finally coming down back bot side of the lane to grab his camps. And will be able to probably grab his Krug red buff here, as Bitmock does grab that first dragon. Miku, of course, going for that soul stacking ability. They want to try to grab soul as pretty much early as possible to prevent a lot of the possible win cons like Mr. Lazy coming online. You certainly don't want to see the Camille with something like an ocean, like a mountain soul, who's just nigh unkillable in the side lane, rather than very hard to kill in the side lane. And with that, Dragon, as well as the one kill, Miku trying to run it back a little bit here. Around 300, 400 gold lead. About 300 gold lead here for the side of Monkey Meta. And that will be about it for the time being. Small CS late here for Graves, and the jungle has been clearing quite well, quite quickly. Pathing has been very good. As gank bot lane possibly coming in here from Ragai. They're going to look for it. J-Morg fails the Q, gonna immediately ult back the Alistar to knock him by the new level. Throws Shizakari back in, but J-Morg into trouble. The root coming in. No! 3-man knockup. Shizakari's gonna buy more time as Ragai getting kited away by the Morgana. Enter Anonymous. Two people in the cage. Ragai going very low. Finds one kill with the Primordial Burst. And this time it will be the side of Monkey Meta who overextends in the bottom lane. And as the TP in from N0 Anonymous who grabs the kill as top lane. Nightlark in trouble again. Ignite down. Mr. Lazy has spell check. Goes ultimate. Nightlark does grab the ult himself. It's very close, but Mr. Lazy on 2-digit HP finds the kill in top lane. Another solo kill for the 5-inch Growth God's AD carry is now Mitmock. Also possibly in some trouble as Mikey Milk looking for the 1v1 on the enemy jungler. Has a level, but does not want to deal with the AD Graves, especially with Alistar coming up at a bot lane. And with that, both sides can back up about even in gold overall post these two things. Though with Camille getting another kill, so that win con for third shot. This doesn't finish off quite yet, but oh, Mr. Lazy executed the turret going for the minions. Oh, that aggro is a fickle mistress. So we'll not be able to get that wave to crash into the top. It's a possible freeze situation here out of Nightlark in the top lane on the Malphite. Try to get himself back in this top lane matchup. Still waiting on that Bramble Nest and that Ninja Tab to come through for him. But counteracting a little bit of this Camille scaling is the Veigar. Having one kill on him already, is farming up quite well. Has been, like I said earlier, pretty much unpunished. Veigar is going untouched, and this is like one of those things with Nasus. If you let them go for too long, they will take over the game eventually. It's more of a question of when and not how, as they might look for a pick up here. Mikey Milk does get stunned up. Good cage there from Enzo. I was trying to think of the spell name. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I just couldn't remember it. Shoutcasting problems.jpg. And they're going to look for another pick here on her. Ragai finds the root for Shizakari, but Ragai able to grab the flash flip from the burst can connect. Now Shizakari does grab one stun, but has to cut away as Mr. Lazy goes for another trade in the top lane. Shield doing a lot of work here as Nightlark going to be taken down to around half HP, ticking even lower. Mr. Lazy continuing the trade here as Nightlark chugging potions. trying to do what he can here on the Malphite. Of course, going to be very effective in the team fights later on in the game. Possibly looking at the fight here is Shinozaki Rika as well as Ragai in the area. Mitmok does find the CC, but he's also CC in return. Fish onto him, bomb as well, and Ragai will pick up one kill to Hero's Entrance to confirm as well. And now the continuation, ZJ just jumping over the minions. It's not going to be another fight, but now another overextension bot lane. Just basically not the lane to gank it. Shinozaki Rika does find one up root on the support. Fish can be taken down quite low here as J Morg is trying to kite away. ZHA though getting quite a few E-procs onto the Miku bot laner. And now once again, 1,000-point gold lead over to the side of Monkey Meta. And we enter a little bit of a lull. Fish possibly looking for it. Does have the ultimate, not unavailable. So J-Morg's going to pull it back with the Fate's Call. And now J-Morg's in some trouble. Snowball does hit. And yeah, ZJ grabs the kill. Well played by Ragai there. But in top lane, meanwhile, it is the Camille who's getting hit. Nightlark though going very low. Could be a trade back. The shutdown comes through. Nightlark ticking. Will survive the ignite. And Miku barely able to get something done there in the top side. But bot lane, another disaster as J Morg does fall towards ZHJ. The Tristana now very accelerated here in this early game. Second dragon as well, going to go over to Monkey Meta. So that dragon soul stacking that we initially saw out of Team Miku going to be slowed a bit. So it's going to be another 5 minutes on the clock. Minimum time for soul now boosting up to around 27 minutes at the current rate. Definitely a longer one. And Ragai overextending here in the jungle. Shinozaki Rika and J-Morgs are here. No flash on the Nunu. He's got to channel the ulti, try to get Galio over there as soon as possible. No, here's Entrance as well. The blue buff does go the way of Enzir Anonymous as J-Morgs grabs the kill with the Ren. So it is a bit of a misplay on the invade. Ragai going too deep with not a lot of support as the Mikey Milk going to be CC'd here, stuck in the cage. Does get canceled by Mitmok, has the taunt available and will be able to walk it away. Nope, more. Oh yeah, for most was available for Enzir Anonymous, not low enough. And now N0 possibly looking for the solo kill. Very low goes Mikey Milk and a flash away. Very well played from the Galio as Mitmok barely misses the ultimate. Now, N0 possibly in some trouble. TP coming in from the Malphite. We know where Mr. Lazy goes just yet. Grabs the hook shot out of the way. Will not be caught in the Vigor cage or with Malphite ulti and double. Nurag knock him in bot lane meanwhile. But there comes the depth chart as J-Morgs doesn't explode his head. Actually gets the trade kill with the Ren. The Halo Blade's doing a lot of work as Fish now the target of the Miku aggression. Double kill for the bot lane of Team Miku. Great engagement. Almost looked like it was going to be turned back onto J-Morgs, but just barely not enough damage coming through as the Ignite plus Ren able to take down ZHJ. So it's a big shutdown for J-Morgs, as well as the follow-up kill on a Nautilus. And plating gold, definitely a boon for Team Miku. They're going to go up quite a bit of gold themselves here around 2K. Top lane, though, still very, very favored towards Monkey Meta at this point. All in all, if you're looking at some item completions, still in component parts for Nightlark in top lane. Has the Bramble Vest now, possibly working on Tabby. Looks like he's just going to go for the Sunfire completion at this rate. Or the, not Sunfire, but Frozen Gauntlet, Iceborne Gauntlet, whatever you want to call it. Mr. Lazy already has a Trinity Force complete on Camille, so dueling power is there. Mitmok, despite being 0-2, does have Shield Bow already done. Very ahead in farm towards Ragai, as well as Shield Bow now completed, and Everfrost as well for Veigar. Bot lane, they're going to be another play. TP in from N0. Good Buster Shot from ZJ to Horizon time, but he gets caught right back in the event. Horizon doesn't fall yet, though. J-Morgs needs to kill off the AD carry. I think he thought the Veigar was going to grab it. It's Fish now the target of the aggression. Dredgeline does connect, but it's on a Shinozaki Rika, and that was not the intended target. Callista is a real cool team, while as dodges, Shinozaki does spot out Mikey Milk, who is alone in this bottom lane. The rest of the team is top. He's looking for the 80 carry. Instead, finding the Alistar will grab one kill in return as J-Morg's trying to cut away, taking some minion damage, and there's the kill. Another one in for the Miku bot lane. Mitmok in trouble top lane, grabs another death as Mr. Lazy finds another Q. 4 and 2 on the Camille. As Nightlark also, I believe, falling in that top side skirmish to Ryguy. So it's a 3-for-2 cross map in favor of Team Miku. Still a lot of very, I'm not going to say sloppy played fights, but very odd fights where it's kind of one team winning out entirely. Not too many uber close ones or too many big trade backs. As this is a full level lead, in fact, for J-Morgs. I'm not really sure where that XP came from, considering how far behind he is. But 7-1 on the Callista is certainly a scary thing to factor in. Got a ton of kills in these last few minutes. Get Event Horizon there from NZ Anonymous. Can prevent Ryguy from finding any further engage. And Miku gonna look for the pick. NZ Anonymous going in. Shinaki, we go. Looking for the kill. And yeah, we'll take it, I think, with the Aftershock, in fact. So kind of unfortunate it didn't go up to N0, but that takedown's still gonna give him 5 stacks on the passive. Nightlark flashing away from the tactical sweep, going to mean that he pretty much cannot walk back up in lane now, as Mr. Lazy does have the option to freeze once again. Going to extend his 40 CS lead even further now on the field. As NZ Anonymous can continue to push up in this mid lane, grab the chickens as well, grab mid lane turret, where the Rift Trail was initially summoned. Mike Milk not actually cut out in the event horizon, just managed to squeak his way through there. And now with third dragon spawning here, the first towards the Ocean Soul will be Miku, who has the majority of the priority. Nightlark, notably no TP here on the Malphite. There will be no unstoppable force coming towards this bot lane fight. Meanwhile, Mr. Lazy, who is very, very powerful on the Camille at this point in the game, does have that teleport available and ready to go to contest his objective if Monkey Meta choose to do so. Instead, Mr. Lazy gonna look for the soul kill instead. Good unstoppable force to stun up Mr. Lazy as he resets the turret aggro, trying to kite away. Takes it again though, as the reset possibly saving the Camille's life there off the ultimate. Does not re-aggro it either. Now Mr. Lazy going back and looks for the solo. Finds a massive amount of damage with the Q. And just trying to keep Nightlark in his lane long enough for him to find another pick. Instead, Nightlark finally going to be able to recall, does not have TP, so will probably lose the lane and possibly the tower as well. Over Nightlark. Team Itsuki is next split. They got next split down pat. Oceans. No problemo. But right now it is Team Miku's time to shine in the PSU LCS in terms of good old quintessential couple nomenclature. And N0 is gonna look for the kill on Mr. Lazy. Grabs one, does not find the event horizon, the tactical sweep actually gonna slow. So now N0 has to be careful. Finds the flash forward, looking for the kill. Doesn't have the vision though, so he's just guessing on vision. Hookshot coming up for Camille in just a few seconds. Ryguy coming into the fight. Blue Smite down to N0. Here comes the Hero's Entrance. It's going to be a 3v2 in top lane as Mikey Nope already in, looking for the Proto Belt forward. And it will be the disengage, so Mr. Lazy not going to be picked off here. N0 burning the flash for the play. Instead, it's just going to be a very, a lot of buttons pressed. Disengage eventually comes through, and the Herald actually going to be started up by Team Miku. Of course, Mr. Lazy on the recall timer here, going to look for bot lane it seems, so might be looking for a pick on a Nightlark as he comes out of the base. And definitely can do so, as probably the two strongest members here on Monkey Meta are in presence. VHJ on the Tristana anti-damage, as well as Mr. Lazy himself. Nightlark gives an inkling of what's going on, decides to start backing off here, finds a control ward, but the hookshot's coming through, he's going to stop to do it. Now Mr. Lazy has the engage. Unstoppable force just off cooldown here for Nightlark, so doesn't have the easy out just yet. But that does mean 4 members of Monkey Meta are in the bottom side of the map. Here comes the TP actually for Mr. Lazy, and he did not realize everyone is here. It's League Ultimate. Mitmok going very low, trying to kite away as Mr. Lazy gets hit with Promoted Burst, and NZ Anonymous will grab the kill. And I did not think that many players were in that top side. Did not see, I think, the Riptail top necessarily, or thought he could defend it against just N0 as well as Mitmok, but either event, it looks like Team Miku's actually going to go for the 20-minute Baron. They know Camille is down. They know he doesn't have TP up yet. And yeah, Monkey Meta has no inkling of what is currently happening. There's no pings on the Baron. There's no one running up the check. They're just farming waves, possibly thinking that Team Miku is on a timely reset here as more and more spears get stacked up into the big purple worm. This one going to be a free 20-minute Baron here for Team Miku, so vastly accelerating the pace of the game. Going to go up to around a 5k gold lead after the Baron is taken. Going to have to see what they can do to try to push down the last of these outer turrets. Or the last of these inner turrets, I should say, with the tier 2s. Still up in all 3 lanes. Top lane not secured by the Herald. N0 had to back off towards that Baron call. And very strong, the Veigar, the Kalista. Gonna be doing most of the damage for Miku this game. So picks onto them, gonna be something to look out for. Of course, Mr. Lazy still completely juiced on the Camille. Has the Trinity Force working on what appears to be a Blade of the Ruined King. As they're going to look for another pick onto the Camille. Hookshot comes through, but Malphite does find his not before the Everfrost grabs the root. The stun is there, and it is counterplay extravaganza for Mr. Lazy as he is bursting down with the Primordial from Veigar. And Xeronymous claiming his 3rd of the game, and Camille not allowed to really do much of anything in that matchup. As now J-Morg is in trouble with ZHA jumping on to the Kalista, but Mitmok with the long-range ulti shall secure in the end. J-Morg's a good Ren. Uses Space Call to bring back Shinzaki Ryu. They're going to look for the pick onto Mikey Milk, who will flash away from the Miku aggression. Does not want to hear any such confessions from this team. Either way, though, with the picks in top lane, with the pick in mid lane, going to be able to burn down 2 of these tier 2 turrets. You have the top mid lane going down as well as bot lane for Team Miku. So all in all, you can claim it as a successful Baron at this point. 7k on the gold lead as well as nothing to scoff at with Dragon up in just 17 seconds. Miku probably looking to secure their 3rd. Haven't secured vision around the pit yet. Actually are going for a little bit of a brush cheese instead so far, but should be free Drake nonetheless, or if it's fought over, pretty Miku favored. Primordial Burst already back up for N0. Mitmok still with all. Nightlark almost has the unstoppable force back up. So you have a lot of Miku's fighting towards the ZHJ is not dead yet. Trying to get away. Bird to the flash as Veigar looking for the ulti on Mr. Lazy. One more auto attack and the solo kill on the backside of it. N0 Anonymous will find the Camille. The burst from Veigar a little bit more than the Camille can deal with no Sterix gauge. And that will be another solo kill as ZHJ did manage to escape in the mid lane, but it was at the cost of both of his summoners as well as ultimate now. Nightlark looking for the engage, but it is Tristana, so you do have the rocket jump, and instead it will be the flash ultimate from the Malphite. Sorry, not Malphite. Not Maokai, Malphite. M Champions. Will be able to not really burn too much in exchange. A little bit of a loss there on Miku's side things. There's another event though. Going to grab the inhibitor here at just 23-20 in the game. Bot lane turrets going down. Team Miku looking to wrap this one up from a very shaky start. Pretty quickly. 2 inhibitors down here at 23 minutes. Should be seeing close to the end of the game here. Still have 4 minutes on that Drake, so we'll be around a 27-30 soul for Team Miku should they be able to secure that Drake. But Monkey meta still looking to scale up here. You have ZHJ, though he's 2 and 3, still has 2 items on the Tron. Not nearly as strong as J-Morg by any stretch of the imagination, but can still do some damage. And Mr. Lazy, despite getting one shot twice, if you can get solo access into the back line without the peel available, can still be a very potent force. Can still one-shot this Veigar before the Veigar can necessarily one-shot him. If his onion is already blown, of course. So, Monkey Minute, you still got your options. You still got stuff to play around, but it is an uphill climb here from the 7k gold deficit on Soul Point. Gonna have a lot of power out here for Team Miku. As the game continues to go, as Veigar is quite fed. Mr. Lazy, though, looking for the 1v1 on J-Morg. Here's Enders is in with the ultimate. Gonna find 2, but J-Morg had the getaway free card. Mr. Lazy still 1v1 Mitmok, who does find the kill. The shield bow doing too much work, and with the arrival of Nightlark, it is a wash in favor of Team Miku. We're going to continue pressing towards that last tier 2 turret in the top lane. Sitting their gold lead to just over 8k as this Baron expires. Don't have to worry about the dragon yet in 2 minutes 40 seconds. So will just be the final elimination of pretty much any hope that Monkey Meta had to really contest, really clear out these waves. Of course, Camille doesn't have a Tiamat yet, so wave clear on that champion is not the best. You are looking for the 1v1s. You're looking to be a duelist. That so far has not been something Camille has actually found that much power at now. 1v1 for not able to 1v1 the AD carry on the enemy team. Plus, of course, renowned for being a duelist. And a two-man stun comes out here from Enzira, falls up with the Unstoppable Force. The Everfrost as well will find them both. Meanwhile, on the back line, Mr. Lazy looking forward. DHA also jumping forward. Maybe overextended. Double kill though for Enzir Anonymous. Or he manages to flash away. Mr. Lazy still alive. Finds the kill on Shinzaka Riku with the Ignite taken down. And that'll be one of the next inserts down as well. J-Borg meanwhile looking under Rye Guy, who does fall towards the red. Legendary is the Callista has been mocked. Looking for Mr. Lazy, trying to dash away, find the tactical sweep to grab the healing, but there's not much else he can do at this point in the game. Enzir Anonymous Zanya's, but it might not be enough. Ooh, just barely doesn't die to the bomb. And Camille is chased out of the base, out of the game, and Team Miku, it was a very rocky start, but the mid game certainly going their way, and they will take game one victorious in just 26 minutes. All right. So that is game one concluded. I would not call it a stop by Team Miku in any stretch of the imagination. I don't know why my webcam is so bright. I apologize. I am yellow. Like, very yellow. We out here. My lighting is not stage lighting. I apologize. However, it's not a racial thing. I have yellow lights in my room. I therefore look the color. I look like I have jaundice. That's what it looks like. Jaundice. There you go. There's an app description. But still, 20-minute here for Team Miku. Look at the damage charts. Actually, quite a well-done game here by Mr. Lazy. Only having second most damage in the game to J-Mork, so doing really, really well. And now, we're going to be getting into game two in just a minute. So, we will be back with Cast in a few seconds. Other than that, stick around, enjoy. We have game two come up in just a few. All right, hello and welcome back to Monkey Meta versus Miku Game 2. If you're just joining us here, Miku taking Game 1 after what was a very rocky early game, comes out in the mid game and closes it out cleanly following a 20-minute Baron and some picks onto Mr. Lazy, the top lane for Monkey Meta. Filling in today as we are getting on into the pro draft. Team Miku taking it with a Camille. They don't want to see that one again at all if they can help it. This is not doing the right tab. My apologies. This is just layering for some reason. There we go. All right. Now you guys can see draft. Awesome. So Rel going to be banned away here as well from Monkey Meta, the card that's hitting the ban bench. Yorick also banned away, so taking away a little bit of the OP split push top laners. And finally from Team Miku, Seraphine is not one they want to see used right now at all. Accidentally closed that tab I didn't want to, so we're going to get music here and draft music here in just a second. But one more ban here from the side of Monkey Meta to try to round out their team. Could look to ban away something like the Kazakhs again. Or they didn't ban it first game, but Kazakhs is certainly a ban they could look at. If they don't want to do the Graves, that one as well. Instead, they are going to no ban. Trying to see what that is. But it is not currently up in the league chat. Ban is Alistar. So they are going to take away Shinozaki Rika's Alistar here for Game 2. And Miku immediately going to pick up the Hecarim. Still probably one of the strongest, if not the strongest jungler on the patch right now. Miku generally have not had the best of time with the champions so far. I think they're 0-2, 0-3 on it. So not exactly the best boating in terms of their own statistics for play. But is going to be the lock-in here for Game 2 on that B1 pick. Mordekaiser is well locked away for Monkey Meta. Now, this does a few things. While blind picking Mordekaiser, I think, is a pretty normally bad idea. Does prohibit you from going something like the Shen. Mordekaiser does just absolutely thwack that champion. So is going to make Night Lark's life a little bit harder. You don't want to pick Shen. You don't really want to pick Malphite into Mordekaiser. Those two champions not necessarily the best. And Tristana once again picked up as that flex pick between mid and bot. So still going to go with the flex picks here for Monkey Meta. Keep Miku guessing as long as possible. And of course, that weapon much more deadly on red side now that you do have that true counter pick sitting on R5. Miku, of course, is the option to respond here with top lane. Get themselves a pretty solid matchup. And they're going to go to the Aatrox. Okay, and Ahri for the mid lane. This is something we haven't seen in a while. Aatrox, certainly not a champion we've seen a ton of in PSU LCS, but in competitive play, it is here and there. Does do plenty all right into the Mordekaiser, so isn't exactly a great problem on that. And Ahri, a bit of an interesting pick here. Hasn't played in pro play. Heard a lot of conflicting opinions. It's good into certain things. It's terrible overall. It's just, garbage. But who am I to really tell? I'm not sure why you guys aren't seeing half the... Oh, they're redoing draft? Never mind then. Never mind. This is not the actual draft, so we're going to go back to our regularly scheduled program here, I guess. We'll be back in just a second with, I guess, Game 2 draft. So I'm just gonna wait on new spectator link. And we'll be back here, I guess, in just a second. So I will go offline again, and we're going to wait for a new lobby. All right, we are back for draft again. We hitting it up. We getting the bans. It's Camille, York, and Rel, just like we saw the last time. Those ones were pretty good. Karthus as well, coming in. Seraphine hitting the bench as well, as this part of the draft was actually corrected. Alistar actually going to be banned away this time. Hecarim first picked, and now we get to see where the scuff-up was. So it will be a pick here for the side of Monkey Meta. I'm assuming it was the Mordekaiser that was probably scuffed. But we will see now what Monkey Meta wants to go towards. Nine seconds remaining, whittling down. Could look to go for a jungle pick here just to get it out of the way. Instead, gonna lock in the Janna again. Interesting that we get to see it blind this time around, so can pick quite a few things in the Janna. Olaf also gonna be picked up, does do fairly well. And the Hecarim is still very strong, even without Gore Drinker, like we saw many patches ago. So, generally, pretty good pick there. The Janna, something we see hit or miss. We've seen Zetai, when he played for Coach Gap, ran the Janna. Can be very strong, can be very annoying to deal with in lane, as you really don't have too much counterplay as the AD carry when you're into that champion, but with some engaged supports, can punish the Janna pretty heavily. There'll be the Kaisa locked away here for J-Morgs for game 2. In the AD carry role again. Another pick, not really as prevalent as she has been earlier in the split. Not as strong, but still very good. And Shen locked away for the side of Team Miku in top lane. Nightlark finally getting one of his more comfortable top lane picks. And now Monkey Meta has the option of going back towards that Mordekaiser pick here for R3. Does do very well on the Shen, has a lot of control. You ult you out of fights. Instead, though, looking for the ADC pickup, and it is going to be the Ezreal for Monkey Meta. Bit interesting, as they probably could have saved it, but it really doesn't matter on red side between R3 and R4. Save what you don't want to get pinched away. And Miku, showing from the first two bans, not necessarily unwilling to ban out Mr. Lazy's Shampoo as much as possible. Thresh banned away here from Monkey Meta, taking away some of the good options. Kaisa, some good supports that deal with Janna very well. And Mordekaiser, as I was saying, immediately banned away. So Miku not having any of that one. As Shen that technically is flexible, you can go Shen support. Not something we see too often anymore, but is a thing that can happen. Karma also here banned away. It's kind of interesting. I think I'd rather see Karma probably banned away by Team Miku for top lane Karma, but again, it's not as potent. We know the flexibility of it. And is okay into Shen. Jace also picked away, so just kind of limiting Mr. Lazy's options here in top lane to really bully out Nightmare on the Shen. You do have something like the Aatrox you could run here if you want to get more AoE damage, not have to deal with Spirit's Refuge that's still getting the taunt, or Fiora, which takes everything that we had last game with a split push Camille, multiplies it by freaking 10 in terms of 1v1 power and potency, and will take over side lanes no problemo. That's picked up here for the side of Monkey Meta. So Mr. Lazy, he wants to put the team on his back and carry, as it is going to be the Fiora top side. And it's going to be Jarvan Zed locked away. for Team Miku. We are okay. All right, the draft has exited the realm of normalcy. We had some good pickups. We had some weird orders, but you know what? We got Jarvan's support for Team Miku with a Z mid for N0. Wow. Alrighty. And finally, Annie getting picked up into Zed, so going for a lot of poke, going a lot for easy CC, for one-shot capability onto the enemy AD carry. Do like the look for the Mikey Milk in mid. Just going to try to hang with N0 for as much as he could, and then be really useful in team fighting. Now we get into our main draft screen, as we're going to go over, as we always do here on Penn State League when I'm on the cast, who won the draft. The short of it, I don't really know. This is a real weird one. You got a Zed for an assassin mid lane. Team Miku is pretty much all AD. You do have Kaisa, who's going to be dealing mixed damage, so you don't necessarily need an AP magic source. Especially considering Olaf, really probably the only person building armor. Zed pick's actually kind of nice to use an easy way to itemize Serpent's Fang to deal with both Annie and Janna for shielding. That's a really minor thing, but I'm going to pick it out because I don't got much to talk about here, because this is all over the place. So we're not going to call a winner to this one. We're just going to call this we're going to call this innovating in the later part of the season. This is innovating for playoffs. That's what this is. We are seeing what works. We're throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. As Miku does have the inklings of a combo. You have a Jarvan Cataclysm with a Shenar on top, Kaisa and Hecarim to dive in and back up that combination. So you do have a good team fight there. Zed just kind of like does his own thing and one-shots somebody. Take that as you will. Meanwhile, on the side of Monkey Meta, you do have a very safe bot lane in Janna Ezreal. Lots of disengage, lots of shielding, lots of poke. So Kaisa as a short-range AD carry, definitely gonna have some problem with that one, but does have an engage support like Jarvan, who can strive to interrupt the poke damage dealers and really get some engage on. Olaf definitely gonna be a problem for Team Miku. Cataclysm does work well into Olaf because you can just prevent the Ragnarok from actually getting to their backline, but no CC off Hecarim or Jarvan to really contest with that. The real menace on the side of Monkey Man is Mr. Lazy, who we already saw pop off in the 1v1 topside on the Camille. Grabs the Fiora, which, although you can say that the lane with Shen can be a skill matchup with the ability of Spirit's Refuge to dodge a lot of the vital procs, Mr. Lazy has shown his worth on these kind of champions, and now he's on a solo carry split pusher that will just make the game, in some instances, unplayable from an even standpoint for Miku if Fiora is at all ahead of her lane opponent. Will be very interesting to deal with. Miku definitely supporting a lot less easy CC this time around. You're going to have like a Hecarim ulti. You're going to have to have like a Shen taunt. All of these things are very, very well projected, so it's very easy for you to repost them. So it's going to be much harder to stun up the Fiora this time. You don't have the Veigar who can one-shot her either. So a fed Fiora could mean a very different type of game than what we saw in Game 1. And then you have the Annie in the mid lane for Monkey Meadow, which is pretty much just an easy answer to Zed, but you know. Do what you really want with that one. You're going to one-shot somebody probably if you're head on Annie with the ultimate. That's just how it's going to work. It's up to you how you really want to play that one. As we have our compositions all round out here for Game 2. Just going to be waiting on the spectator delay. So we will be back in just a second because I don't really have much to talk about. This is the problem with solo casting. You run out of things to talk about really quickly because of some of these drafts that you don't know either have too much prep on or what have you. So we got 2 minutes 30 seconds here until we hit the rift. In the meantime, enjoy some beats, and I'll be back with the cast in just a few minutes. All right. We are back for cast as we're loading on into the game here. Just a second, check out some runes, check out what people are running here. I'm going to say probably not the Omnistone. Fiora is still going to be Ignite, Teleport, Mr. Lazy. What else would you expect? Is going to be Grasp as well, and Fiora's not going to conquer for team fight. Just going to go for a lot of short, simple trading here for top lane of Monkey meta this time around. Otherwise, nothing I think too out of the ordinary. Is going to be Airy, Summon Airy on the Jarvan, not Guardian, as the PSU LCS is known for. Not Aftershock, nothing like that. Not even Electrocute if you're going damage. Summon Airy for that good sweetie poke. Otherwise, again, pretty much everything else fairly standard runes, as we do get 2 more 5-mans.
30 seconds until minions
Just splitting up the
spawn.
map here, making sure no one's getting invaded. Looking out for anyone placing vision down. And that's pretty much it. Again, gonna be looking for jungle pathing going early game. I think that bot lane is definitely somewhere to look here for Mitmok in the early portion of the match. Does have probably a lot more kill pressure with the Kaiser Jarvan, as well as mid lane into the Annie. Yeah, you can get stunned up going for that gank, but you do a lot of damage with Zen if you can land a Shadow EQ combo. We'll probably chunk Annie down to half HP. So you do have good options for Mitmok a lot on the bottom side of the map. Top side of the map a little bit harder if you are going to be a lot harder to gank early on. I mean, Shed can still do a lot of damage, but you do have to be very careful to repos. You have to be very careful that one of your guys doesn't die and she gets a 1-1 trade back. So I do like that Mitmok is starting this top side blue buff. Will be pathing bot side to start and will be able to try to get off with gank in one of his 2 lanes as priority. So we saw kind of happen last game that caused him to get ahead. It was more of misplays on top of misplays, to be honest, with how much the bot lanes went last game. But with that action, Miku eventually came out ahead with J Morgan being 7-1 out of lane on the Kalista. Very strong presence in the game. Could deal with pretty much everyone, including Mr. Lazy on the Camille. But this game, maybe not going to be as much the case. J Morgan, yeah, this is the problem. This lane is a lot of poke. It's a lot of poke. It really hurts. And that is going to be a bit of the issue here for Shinozaki and J Morgan as a pretty short range bot lane overall. You do have the EQ combo for Jarvan to really get into fights, but doesn't really help you much with the poke. Marker, I'm on here on Miss Lazy. Vital proc here, repost, comes late, trying to get that Vital, finally grabs it as the 1v1 continues. Ignite's still available, Mr. Lazy doesn't want to look for it. I think he could have gotten it there if he just says Ignite Q auto. But instead will hold it for the time being, doesn't want to get denied on the solo kill, wants to confirm it for sure, it would seem, or just a misplay, what do I know? I'm just playing with my caster, Nightlark. Trying to find trades where he can. Sen does still have a lot of early trading power. The percent max out Q's damage, pretty nice. Nice overall. As both lanes here with trial for Team Miku and bot lane, as we look for that bot crab in no time flat. Top lane getting shoved in the turret does have a pretty solid CS step. But as this Jarvan doing actually quite a bit of poke with the E. ZHJ taking some damage here. I've heard the rumblings that support Jarvan exists, but I've not been super privy to watch many of its executions myself without it going 0 and 10. First blood in the mid lane, the freaking one shot as top lane's a trade 1-for-1 as well for Nightlark and Mr. Lazy. And 0. That was it. I mean, he's the man's a magician. Now you see Annie, now you don't. She's gone. She's back in the fountain. Was certainly not expecting that much. I wasn't expecting that much damage to come across. Certainly Mikey Milk was not expecting that much damage to come across. As well as N0 just going under the tower with Shadow Dash to claim the kill. Ryguy, though, gonna try to take some camps away here from Mitmok. Try to take away the Grom, get back to Grom's zone. Has you smite Mitmok, though, gonna find him out on the Grom. Does grab the healing, though, off of the camp as things come down for help. But N0 and Nightlark both not in a position to help just yet. Ghost comes out from Mitmok, but Ryguy does have that Conquer Prot phase rush on the Hecker. It means that healing's not there. Nightlark coming in. Flash taunt lands beautifully as Ryguy Managed to get a flash zone. Now Nightlark finds some trouble. Stops a few of the hits from Mr. Lazy with the Fierce Refuge, but Mr. Lazy with a good repost is going to be able to get out. So it's a lot of buttons pressed and not a lot gained from it. Bot lane, meanwhile, just farming up, poking out, the usual from these two lanes we've seen so far. Surprisingly, the lane with the least amount of actions. I thought that Miku might try something to get something down here on the poke lane. Try to one-shot some of these squishy champions, but instead, just gonna go for the solo plays in their respective lanes. Of course, the 1v1 on the Charo does go in the favor still of Mr. Lazy overall in top lane. A lot of that CS and XP lost to Nightlark, so it's going to be delayed on level 6. Is going to be down quite a bit of CS. Shen definitely not necessarily super happy about that one, but will take the kill in response. Is Mikey Milk possibly in some trouble here. Does possibly electrocute. Has to flash away over the wall to make sure N0 just can't auto-attack him to death and get some Q and E cooldowns back around. So, and in a sticky situation here with Zed, I believe hitting 6 first. And he's level 6 was very potent. There's level 6 now saying flash forward, grab, the only goes back to the shadow, and that's a trade kill. I'm not sure if that was the intended action by Mikey Milk, but or by N0 I should say. But does grab Mikey Milk in the end, ends up being a 1-for-1 trade in the middle lane. Meanwhile though, Shinozaki Rika as well as Mitmok able to claim that first dragon. They're going to be starting to stack that soul. We saw this in the first game get delayed by Monkey Meadow with the second dragon, but still Miku certainly going to be looking for that this game as Nightlark trying to farm. Has a lot of vitals in some very awkward places. Both junglers looking for the top side gank. Mr. Lazy is 6. Nightlark still level 5. Still a level advantage. Talk comes through. No repost to be had. There comes late, and that will be the kill. Some of those still coming down. Nightlark, so Ryguy more than likely going to be able to trade back 1. Now looking for 2. Does not find the axe, though. The Hecarim going to be able to walk out just fine. So 1-for-1 in the top lane. Both junglers grabbing respective kills. Both top laners now at 1, 2, and 1, but 1 with quite a bit more CS under their belt. 18 to 40 in total. And Shinozaki Rika going to be the recipient of some pretty heavy poke damage here from ZHJ as Vision Chocolate J-Mor's in trouble. Archangel over finds the heal. ZHJ now going very low. Blast forward, grabs the kill. And Shinozaki looking for the counter. The exhaust is going to find some more time. ZHJ going very low. The Conqueror barely not going to be able to heal him up. And Shinozaki Rika will also fall. It is a 2-for-1 in the bottom lane. ADC for ADC and support. J-Morgs, no ward, cannot find the Ezreal in the bush and becomes just 2 poked out to continue. Good. Archangel DJ. Now Ryguy's in trouble. Pop the element. Ezreal grabbing the Stand United from Nightlark just in case that he gets ulted by the Annie there. Instead will be the solo kill for N0. Actually, technically it's assisted by Shen because counts. Mikey Milk looking for something. Here's Mitmok going forward. Is the ult available for Annie, but Mitmok able to dash past it for now. Going to be able to heal off both of these members. Mikey Milk not going to be able to do too much. Hecarim is a really cool champion to play against when he heals a lot of himself off that W and Conqueror, except no Conqueror to be had here. It's just being phaser for chasing. Jarvan, though, in the top side, looking here onto the Fiora. Mr. Lazy immediately get popped the Spear's Refuge, sorry, doing a ton of work with the Vial, not able to be procced, and it ends up being Shinozaki Rika was able to grab the kill. Either way, good game from Team Miku, and what we are seeing now, ladies and gentlemen, is a very accelerated early game affair. Last time, and J-Morgs not looking to slow that down. He's in trouble bot lane, finds the kill instantly away, and now it's Fishbits trying to get away, pops the ultimate. The Typhoon able to buy some space, and with the flash, going to disengage that fight against the Hecarim. So, very high-paced game here, a lot of ganks, a lot of 1v1s. We are just limit testing all over the place for the most part, but so far it is Team Miku who has a 1,000 gold lead in the early portion of the game. Still far from commanding lead, but definitely nice to have. Never going to stop at a gold lead as N0. Just gonna keep gesturing. Has the death mark available. Just wanted to make sure Mikey Milk knows that who's really in charge of this lane. He's going to continue to slow push this wave in mid up. And with that, we do get a little bit of a break. Both teams just looking to farm up right now, and you're of course going to continue looking for the solo kill onto Mikey Milk as he's Zed. He wants to kill people and get out of the lane. Top side still farm fest, still very favored in Mr. Lazy. Very hence yes, here comes the death mark mid lane that I was talking about. Mikey Milk does not have the stacks, used them already, but all the Qs from N0 misses. The tower shot and ignite not gonna be enough. The stun wasn't there as well on the empowered. And so a little bit of mechanical misplay from N0. He's going to be ticking down into double-digit HP and forced to recall himself. The kill not found, a death mark not used adequately, as Annie's shield with all the armor and whatever it gives, pretty potent. Going to be able to save him from the aggressions of N0 as Nightlark. I don't think he realizes how much trouble he's in. Does manage to taunt away before Mr. Lazy can get on him with the Q. So lane gank not going to be something too easy, but of course Olaf not wasting too much time on that one. Did get away quite quickly. Repost there, dodge some Q damage from Shen. Nightlark still will take the butt end of the trade despite having tabbies. Now Nightlark going back in, pops the Spirit Refuge, not going to grab any damage onto himself. And Mid-Mock coming in, finds the Ultimate Fear onto Mr. Lazy, ticking very, very low. The W going to find it. Mid-Mock on a killing spree. Olaf not able to get back up in time. He was trying to look for that crab there, spawning right in front of the Rift Herald, and instead top lane going to fall once again. 1-4 on the Fiora, certainly not the showing Mr. Lazy was looking for after that game of performance. Now the next mark here on Mikey Milk. The Q is hit. Mikey Milk, the Ignite taking down, and that will be the solo kill for N0 Anonymous. The Zed finding it big under the tower. Now in some trouble. So he goes back in on the Olaf. N0 flashing away, but it's still the shutdown. The Cataclysm not doing anything. The Shen ult doesn't complete, so now Shizaki Eureka alone with Ragai flashes away from the Olaf. Misplay duly punished from the jungle this time of Ragai. Has to burn his flash to do so, but not a super big deal. Nightlark going to continue to push here under this turret as Mr. Lazy, looking potentially, has the movement speed off of his opponent items. And again, like game one, we're going to see the second dragon going over to Monkey Meta. So again, soul stacking going to be stopped, which means we have about a 26-30 soul point right now if you get him on spawn. Probably like 27 minutes soul point here. Once again, so literally the exact same as the last game in that regard, but Miku this time around going to be 2k in advantage. Mikey Milk trying to get the stun up here, has the stun, does not find Timbers, and N0 doesn't need the death mark this time around. Just going to go for the straight up one-shot-arino as he finds every single skill shot that time around. There will be no escape for the Mikey Milk on that play as Mr. Lazy didn't find the repost. Dodged away by Nightlark, gets around the back end of the Fiora. And N0 now possibly looking for the dive with Mid-Mock. Ragai going in, Deathmark onto the Olaf. Passes pretty much everything for this to work. As Mid-Mock trying to get away. Jana here though. N0 going very low. It's a shutdown for Ragai. Miku does not have enough damage to commit that with Fish in the area. The shields and the potential heals a little bit too much as the chase continuing. Shizaki Riga slowed down, but now Kaisen's in the fray. Ult in with the killer instinct. Now Olaf unstoppable shield. J-Marks going very low. The heal, the flash to get away. And now Fish in the struggle. The Cataclysm comes through. Annie is back though and gets the double fear for Mid-Mock anyway. Goes legendary as the Annie ulti comes in. Timber trying to do what he can to burst down these two members. Another stun coming in on a Mid-Mock who managed to dash away. And Shizaki Riga as well surviving just barely with the free stopwatch. So another pretty close encounter in the mid lane for some of these players. And top side, Nightlark going to continue pushing this wave. Of course, TP available for Mr. Lazy, so not going to be too big of a problem. ZHA also able to grab a plate bot lane for Kaisa roaming. And ooh, Mikey Milk almost falling to the ZQ. A shuriken toss on point there in the second trade. So far, we're going for item check-in. Still waiting on the Mythic on Shen. Stride Breaker completed for Mr. Lazy. Gonna help you get a lot of those vital stacks. Mid-Mock gonna go look for a trade here on Mr. Lazy. Teleport's coming in from Nightlark. Staying United, of course, not available, so you can't just go for the straight up play. Instead, they're gonna rip top lane. They're gonna look for the extra. Flash taunt does land from Nightlark. They're gonna go for the Mr. Lazy. Does have the Q to get away as Mid-Mock going under tower. Repost gonna be buffered away from Mid-Mock. Finally goes in, knocks Mr. Lazy airborne, grabs some healing off of vitals, and it's Nightlark who ends up tanking. Fantastic play from Miku on the top side. Great execution on the dive, and they're going to get the tower as well with the Rift out as Shizaki Rika pops the full Zanya's Hourglass, but it's not really going to save him as he is way too deep. Staying United finally comes through. It's not going to matter. Shutdown on the way for Ragai. 600 gold in the bank is now. Ulti coming in on a Fish. No, it turns on a ZHJ. Target selection. The shield already burned on himself. Fish with nothing else to give. Typhoon not available. Well played, N0 grabbing that kill. And almost gets a second there onto the Janna. As looking for Ryguy. Grabs enough damage for JMorphs to come in with the Gale Force, returning to the Shadow, and 2 quick kills in the bot lane in response for Team Miku, who have at this point taken a very commanding lead. Almost 3,000 gold, or almost 4,000 gold now in the green. And another pick looking on your mic. We have no stop in action. And Dynamite does not find the second Q as Tibbers comes down, stunned onto Shizakiryu, but he can take the Shadow in, grabs a few more auto attacks, claims the kill. Tibbers also going to fall away. And another kill for Team Miku as it is 17-8 in kills, an absolute bloodbath. Over a kill a minute here in this game after what was a very slow game 1 in terms of the early game. Now, very chaotic, very skirmishy, very scrappy here from Team Miku in game 2. Of course, benefiting greatly, 7-3 on the Zed, has Eclipse, working on a second value item. Mitmac already going for the full tank Hecarim. ZHJ does have his Essence Reaver, Gordon completed for the Olaf. JMorphs into trouble in top lane. Mr. Lazy once again the target of Mitmoc's aggression. Finally reputs by the time as Ryguy is also here. These are the 2 strongest members. They're gonna look for the fight. Shutdown goes on to Mr. Lazy, and now Nightlark all alone. Can he burst on the Fiora? The Stridebreaker gets him away, and Ryguy will slay the kill. It was a single-digit health, and now bot lane JMorphs in trouble. ZHJ finds every skill shot he needs. Killer Instinct knocking him out. Typhoon gonna heal up ZHJ, and a double kill in the bot lane. Monkey Meta fights it back. They will not go quietly into the night, and they will find 4 kills across the map. As now the counter looking here by N0. Still the exhaust on, so doesn't do too much damage. Finally wears off as he gets everything, and the Death Mark will claim the killing spree. And now ZHA on his lonesome in the backside. Gonna grab some poke here onto N0. Grab some healing from that taste of blood, from that domination tree. And so far, N0 not able to find the kill just yet. Still has plenty of time for the Death Marks up. Says he's going to chase Mikey Milk, of course, sitting in this bush, waiting for the cheese. Ryguy also in the area. His 3rd dragon does spawn, and Zero in some trouble, grabs the Shadow away. So he's just going to go be the scouting party. Mitmock looking forward, finds his way on to Mikey Milk, but that's 1v3. And he finds the sun, but there's no tippers to be had just yet. Cooldown now just coming off for the Annie. It will be the current disengage here from Team Miku, and it will be the side of Monkey Meta, who gets started the Dragon, now reducing the goalie from almost 4k to just over 2. As now comes in the fight, 1,500 damage on the Drake, looking for the fight instead, 800 smited away, stolen by Mitmock. And now the fight will continue. Mr. Lazy is TP'd already down. JMorphs finds his way into Ryguy. ZHJ does not die as the Gale Force will get him. JMorphs able to stay Unite coming through, double kill for the Kaisa, and another kill for Mitmock. Very disjointed fight coming around from both sides. It ends up being 3 kills to Team Miku, who do get the Dragon to boot. So second Dragon once again in the second game secured for Team Miku, back on that soul stacking train. Come back up to around a 3k gold lead, so not as big as it had been, but still pretty darn solid. And some towers as well as JMorphs going to be looking to finish off this bot lane tower here, possibly on this recall. He's just going to take a few hits off of it. Yeah, come back around. So bot lane tier 1 going to fall for that as well. Of course, mid lane tier 1 already down from the Herald play. Not from the Herald play, just down. And they might look for the play here as Mitmock waiting on the Blast Cone with Hecarim. Does not have the ultimate up yet. JMorphs, however, does have Killer Instinct available. Is looking for ZHJ to go for the overextend, which he is very much looking to do. But do they know that Ryguy's in the area? They find him. Mitmock does see him on the Blast Cone there. Instead, it will be the disengage from Team Miku, so no further aggression to be had. Meanwhile, N0 top lane against Mr. Lazy, going for the split push. Zed, of course, absurdly strong here at 8-3. Still has to watch out from that repost from Fiora. Can get a lot of his damage just negated. Who cares, really? So going to be looking to burn that cooldown before he could really commit to a fight. As Olaf passes in top of the guard, he strikes. Remember, Mr. Lazy looking for the 1v1. He's fine at 0. 1 mark is taken. Death Mark finally done. There's the repost, and it blocks pretty much everything. N0, though, able to grab out with all the shadows he's placed down. And that means the Fiora is tied. Does have to flash away from the Olaf, and JMorphs does the killing through the killers in the mid lane. Can't do anything about it. Meanwhile, top of the counterattack is here. Mitmock finds one on to the Fiora, as now in the Cataclysm. Ryguy finds one, is unstoppable, and the Olaf finds 2! The shutdowns! Is this the 1v9 Olaf? Nope. Mitmock gonna grab that kill as Fish not there in time with the Monsoon. Mitmock finds the Fear with the ultimate taunt as well. The CC chain is complete. Double kill for the Hecarim, but that is 2 big shutdowns on to Ryguy as the ace comes through for Team Miku. Gold lead now at around 5,000. Free Herald as well for Team Miku. I'm not sure if they're going to get it. Only a minute till Baron spawns, so Mitmock Gonna need to do this really quickly. I'm not sure if it's actually worth his time. I'd rather him just farming Gromps, taking a recall, doing pretty much anything but the second Herald. As he does not have a lot of time to get this one done. 30 more seconds until it despawns. And so far right now, looking at the game state, Annie not feeling too great right now. The lane opponent is very strong, and Midlock does manage to get that with just 15 seconds to spare on the Hecarim. So, will be a very late second Herald drop. Going to be average level almost probably 11 or 12, maybe even 13 by the time he can actually pop that. As Mr. Lazy looking for it on a J-Morg. Does have it easy to get away, and a lot of damage coming through from N0 as he's going on the death mark. Finds a way on a fish, but not sure if he has the cooldowns left to go anywhere. Gets exhausted. N0 now disengaging. Midlock coming in to try to find a way on the Ezreal. Cataclysm comes down. Nowhere can be had. J-Morg goes on top of it. Now the Timbers ulti finds 2 in the Cataclysm. And Nightlark caught on the wrong side of the rift. Looking for possibly Fish, but can't get it anywhere. Ryguy will grab that kill. Ends up being a 2-for-2. Probably in the favor here of Monkey Meta. Just continue to close that gold lead as much as they possibly can. Trading evenly with a team who has so far been that far ahead. Very well done on Monkey Milk to use Cataclysm. Now he is dead. J-Morg's ends are going to make short work of the Annie. And Ryguy possibly looking for it. He has 1v2 these characters before with the help of a Hecarim, so is no stranger to it. Wants to try to maybe do it again. Death Mark coming out again. N0 looking for some damage down as Ryguy going very low, but the Sterix gauge going to make it sure he is perfectly fine here on the Olaf. And now, with that disengage, we're up to a 6k gold lead to the side of Team Miku. Baron has spawned. You still have Rift Tailed available on the Hecarim. And if you're on the side of Monkey Meta, some things you need to worry about. You don't have side lane push. Mr. Lazy can be 1v1 by multiple members on Team Miku. The Fiora pick has not worked out accordingly. The Mana finally stacked up and completed now, so maybe doing a little bit more damage. And pretty much, if you're not with ZHJ or Ryguy, you're not winning a fight. Especially Ryguy. Ryguy has so much gold on this team. And even despite that, still 300 gold behind the Hecarim.
That was easy.
But they're going to look for the pick here. Miku looking for Mr. Lazy. They do find the knockup as Lazy trying to find the ultimate. Grabs onto Mitmock, doing a lot of percent max health true damage as Death Mark going to finally be channeled here as Mitmock does very low. The ulti completion of that pick, of course, right before the dragon. Now it might be a trade. The positioning of Baron here by Monkey Meta. Miku going to look to respond with J-Morg. He's going to walk up here, find his way onto Fishbish, who's furthermore scouting out these members. But Kaisa can one-shot Janna. Good Monsoon to get away. Killer Instinct finds him at the Janna. And that does get them off the Baron for now. The True Shot Barrage is going to do a lot of damage to Kaisa without the Monsoon, without the help of that Janna. It will be the disengage instead from Monkey Meta. The Baron Call, not one I dislike by any means, but they just don't have the damage right now. Do not have the members to really do that quick enough before Team Miku can finish off that Infernal Dragon and continue stacking the soul. Now we have it. 31 to 17 kills. 7k gold lead for Team Miku. Commanding presence game. Should be an easy one for them to more or less play out at this point. They have the Fiora pretty much under control. Olaf is going to continue to fall off the team is on. Ezreal might be only the skilling that they really have to worry about. Even still, he's getting 1v1 by a full tank Shen. And now the Death Mark as well. So, yep, not going to be a problem for Miku at all. It's going to be a level probably 12 average Rift Herald. Maybe 13 average Rift Herald coming down in mid lane. So this tower is gone. As Mr. Lazy looking for a kill, finds a good repo, doing a lot of damage. Nightlark in some trouble. Ryguy able to find him on the backside. Mr. Lazy finally goes down after an N0 not as good godlike, but now can they deal with Ryguy? A good shadow away from N0, gonna keep him alive for now. As Mike finds stone in the mid-mark, maybe into deep, but J-Morg finally joins the fight with Shinozaki Rika. Ryguy looking for it on a J-Morg. Cataclysm comes down, but trapped the Kaisa, and good killer instinct away. As Ryguy getting through with the Sterix. Shadow not gonna land necessarily N0. And finally, J-Morg and Shinozaki are able to clean up on the backside. Mikey Milk finished off with the Gale Force. As N0 shut down! Sniped away by ZHJ. Now remember, now not sure if Miku, yep, they're not going to look at the Baron anymore, I don't think. They're going to just go back, farm up some cans, get some more gold, as they're now 8,000 gold ahead. Still 3 minutes off from the Infernal Soul to be their endgame. Instead, they are going to start with Baron here. They have Mid-Mock on, no Shot Barrage available. Shinozaki Rika. Currently trying to tank some of his buff, but he's kind of low himself. N0 up in 70 seconds, so Zed, importantly, one of the big split push that's Team Miku, who can't hold his own in side lane, not going to have. But the big one, it's a J-Morgs! Oh, baby! Flashes over the Baron pit wall for a solo kill on to ZHJ, who was not prepared. Just looking to stop some back. He will be destroyed from the 11-2 Kaisa. 3 items completed. Nash's Tooth as well for that AP damage that Miku so much needs on this team. And now we see Team Miku trying to get some Baron. Nightlark maybe in trouble here as Mr. Lazy does have the assistance of Rye Guy in the mix. Mid-Mock grabs the crab. Gonna look for the one going against Wire. I'm not sure if he wins against the goal up. Still very strong as Nightlark. Finally coming up. Deathmark also going to be used on the rampaging Olaf. Finally goes down and ends there. That kill. Mr. Lazy maybe looking for kill. Not work. Nope. Double kill for the Zed as the EQs come in. Just not enough gold around here. J-Morg 1v1 the anti mid lane. Director camera isn't going to let us see as Monsoon can cancel Mid-Mock's advantage. The Unstoppable as well going to be channeled. Fish. Flashing away. Just going to even on our tower. And that is the FF by Monkey Meta. And we will see a 2-0 victory here for Team Miku. And that will be the end of the game. And with that one, a pretty clean game, too, from Team Miku overall. One little point in the game where they got 4-man killed across map. That was pretty rough. But other than that, not too many faults I can give them. They handled the Fiora threat very, very well. The Annie was never even an option. Bot lane certainly a bit rough in the early game, but that was more matchup, I think, than most will be inclined to do. A lot of poke there from Jenna and Ezreal early on. ZHJ actually playing that Ezreal fairly cleanly for most of the early game. But mid to late game, all Team Miku's hands, and that will be pretty much the end of it. Clean 2-0, very well played by both sides. As we say, GG, well played in the realm of League of Legends in the all chat. But with that, congrats to Team Miku securing another TO, pushing yourself further up in playoffs. Monkey Meta still on the hunt. They still got games to play. They still got chances to try to get some plays in before the end of the split here this Wednesday when playoffs are locked. So until next time, that'll be it here for us tonight on PSU LCS. I'll be heading home for Easter, so you won't be hearing too much from me on the casting desk. We're going to try to get some more of the many, many, many games here for the rest of PSU LCS casted for you guys as they come to completion and as we hear of them. So until next time on the Rift, I'll see you guys back for playoffs, but catch you back next time on the Rift. Peace.